Okay, it is October 18th. Today we're going to make stuffed sugar pumpkins. Now, stuffed pumpkins, but I would go with stuffed sugar pumpkins. As you can see, they're right here on my shelf. I'm going to take them off, and actually, that's what we're going to stuff. I have all the ingredients out that we're going to need that's listed on there. Everything is right here. I have it all measured out, ready to go. This is what I'm going to use to cut up the pumpkin. Over here I have a cast iron pan with a little butter and some olive oil on the bottom. I'm going to grill up the meat. I'm going to fry it up, but we're going to put the vegetables in with it. We're going to blanch it in here basically. We're going to make the rice over here, and then we're going to put them together, and we're going to stuff the pumpkins and then bake them. So I don't know if this sees me, but that's going to be our stuffed pumpkin recipe. This is the time of year that stuffed pumpkins really come out up here in the Northeast, especially here in Rhode Island. We have some of the best soil in the whole world for any type of gourd, and obviously pumpkins fall into that. So what we're going to do is, let me set up my camera here, and that should do it. I'm going to show you how we cut up a pumpkin and get it ready. What I usually do is take an old newspaper and open it up, and let me just do this. I'll take it in, and you want a sharp knife, but you got to be super careful when you're doing this. What I've learned is you come in at an angle, and if you can, move it right around. Now sometimes you got to go in and out, but like if you get it just right, and there's no problem taking it back out. You want to keep an angle on this. You don't want to go in straight from the top. You see how the angle I'm cutting this at? Well, now, because of that, see, I can put it back on as a cap. So all this stuff on the inside, all that comes out. Obviously, anywhere it's stringy and you see seeds, you take that out. See, they're all off. And the same thing here. What I usually do is I'm going to show you how I do one. I usually take a spoon, but a nice strong spoon, and I just go right into the pumpkin, like this. See how it's crunching? And if anyone's ever carved a pumpkin, they know you got to take all this out. So this is a nice fresh one. It's been sitting here a couple weeks. I picked it a couple weeks ago. See how this all comes out? You want all that stringy stuff out. It comes right out. Just keep taking it out, and when you have it on a piece of newspaper like this, it makes it really easy. It is a little work, but you want to get all this out. It's going to be well worth it. Once you get the groove of it, you'll see it pulls right out. You just got to kind of be a little aggressive with it. Look at all the seeds coming out of this. Isn't it crazy? This little pumpkin had this many seeds in it. We're almost there. And I'm showing you in real time how to clean out a pumpkin. I'm going to pause it in a second while I do the other one. But if you got to look way down deep inside because the seeds really want to stay tangled up in all this. That's it. I usually take a sharp knife that doesn't want to come out. Okay, I'll just cut it out. It pulls right out. Alright, and then I'll scrape a little deeper. Now this stuff, pumpkin, the inside is very, very slippery. So you don't want to get it on your hands and then grab your knife. You're going to end up slipping. And just keep digging down until there are no more seeds. See, like, even here it looks fine, but there's still a few seeds. You gotta keep digging. You want them all out. You don't want to eat that. I mean, you can toast these seeds, but that'll be another video. Alright, so. Nice pumpkin. One done. I'm going to pause it, and then I'm going to show you what we do next. Well, let's show you. This is important, actually. See this? Watch the cover. Let's get it to fit where it was. It'll go right back exactly the way it came off. So when I bake it, you don't even know, see? So there's the pumpkin. I'm going to let it breathe a little. Okay, here we go. So we're back. Now we're going to do the fun part. We're going to cook up all of the beef. See this? And in this, I'm using a cast iron pan today. I think it'll go perfect. It's going to flavor everything up real nice. One thing, when you use a cast iron pan, don't forget, take out your mitt. I put it right on it so I don't forget, because I tend to start grabbing things at certain times. Okay, so now, all those spices that are included on this stuffed pumpkin recipe are going in this right now. While I let this pan get up to heat, it's almost there. I'm going to take about a cup of long grain white rice. And I'm going to boil that. We call parboil. I'll cook it like halfway. And it's super simple. Whatever amount of rice you have, just put double the amount of water. Like 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice, maybe 2.5 cups. I like to add a little salt into the water. Not oil, not with rice. Put the cover on, turn all the way to high. And when it comes up to a boil, I'll bring it down to slow. So while we're doing this, this will come together too. All right, so what we're going to do is, let me get this moving around the pan a bit. I just put 1 tab of butter. This is where the tab of butter goes. And I've got probably maybe a tablespoon, a little half, maybe tablespoon of olive oil. All right, so this can go in. I just drop it in. We're going to bring it right up. Now I have all our spices and all the vegetables, so I'm going to lay them out. I'll show you. All this. And we'll go through them, because this is the fun part. Now the vegetables, we have the onion, which is very, very important. You want it diced kind of small. A little bit of garlic, 1 clove. A little bit of chopped up celery. We have the mushrooms. And then today I have red pepper diced up. Usually I'll put red and green, but only that much. It's almost there just for color, but it does add flavor. Now on the spice side of things, we'll go through our spices because we're going to need them. We have I have some parsley over here. I have some ginger. I have clove, ground clove. Now this is very important. And a lot of this is to taste. I have white pepper. There's some salt, the white pepper, and basil. So that's it. That's it for the spices. I mean, there's quite a few, but this is, think fall, think New England. And you will basically get the feel for this. And so what I do is I drop it in. The pan was already warm. It wasn't hot. It's going to be hot real soon, though. Watch it starting to sizzle. Okay? So I make some room in here. I kind of do this. You want it even across the pan. Right? You can hear it starting to sizzle now. I go with the vegetables because there's a little bit of moisture, but the garlic is the last thing. Celery takes the longest, so I put it in first. And this is how you do it. Sometimes I have a little spoon I can just pull this out. Okay. I would go with the peppers. Spread them out. Onion. Spread it out. the mushrooms and the garlic I'll save for last. Because you gotta remember, we're gonna bake this now. This is just getting this ready. We're gonna bake this. So then again, what I'll do is this chopping motion, we'll push these vegetables down into it. You can hear it, it's starting to sizzle up real nice. Give it some room. I kind of break it into quarters, it makes it easier to flip. You can use the pan, you can see they're already breaking into quarters of a pie here. So let them sit. Now, all these spices, the trick is, I'm going to put them on now because we're going to flip it. So I kind of take, doesn't matter in what order you do it, it really doesn't. You just want to distribute it evenly. See how I made it like snow on there? You don't want to put it all in one spot. Try and make it float down to everywhere. See that? Here comes the clove. This is very important. It goes all over evenly. Here comes the ginger. Here comes the white pepper. And here comes the salt. Now I already salted the bottom of that pan. I should have mentioned that, but salt you need. Alright, so you see how this is really frying up here. This is what we want. So what I'll do is I'll push all that down now into this. Like this. So all this is sticking in, right? So you take a piece, we already broke it into little quarters. If you don't get it all, no big deal. Just flip it over, flip it back down. There we go. That's it. Now, I still have the heat up real high because you want to blanch a lot of this into it. What you're doing is you're really blanching it in. This is where I take the mushrooms, spread them out. There, everything's really mixed up, small, like really chopped up. And then a little bit of garlic. And let me tell you, one clove, and this is to taste. If you like more, add more, but one clove for a French dish is more than enough. Okay, so all our spices are in. I can smell them, they're coming up. Very important thing here, this is a little magic ingredient. It is tomato paste. But we're only going to use 1 tablespoon. So let me open this and I'll show you what we do, because we're getting there. Gotta remember, we're blanching things here. We're not cooking it all the way through. When you bake it inside the pumpkin, that's gonna cook it. Alright, so let me get this situated. Alright, we're gonna use a little of this. And it's really, really neat how this comes together. I love doing this. I take a mixing bowl. Alright, our rice is starting to boil. Beautiful. Let it boil. I want to see it come up. This, now I'll give it a few chops. Mix it all in. Just think about it. This is all going inside a pumpkin, so we don't want big chunks, but I like to let it cook that way. See what I'm doing here? Now everything's getting blended in right at the end. Okay, so you're blanching and now all those flavors, everything's coming together. Okay, you're still pink in the middle, that's what you want to see. Alright, that's done. That's the way you want it. You do not want to cook it all. I mean, you can, but you don't want it, okay? Because it's going to bake. You take it, boom, right into this. And there's hardly any fat in that. It's a good grade, so here we go. Now I take the 1 tablespoon, bang, that's it. No more, no less. And I found that a nice wide fork works really nice. I just take that tablespoon and I blend it in. Right now while it's hot, this is what you want to do. That's it. And a lot of people, you can use tomato sauce, and like a lot of people will do this like they do stuffed peppers, and they'll put tomato sauce over the top. All right, this is coming up. See the bubbles? The steam? I'll show you in a sec, but we got it boiling hard right now, and then I'm gonna bring it down to a soft boil. Because now what's happening is, as this cools, all of the flavors of everything we just put in there are gonna get pulled into it. So I'm just gonna leave it right here and let it cool. Or, you know, comes down as this rice comes up. Okay, so a little show here on what you do with rice. I put that rice in, you saw what we did. It's been cooking maybe 10, 12 minutes. See all this? It's all like the air is coming through, and we took the water out, and this, see, it's still a little liquidy. So what you'll do is I'll knock the heat right off. I'll put the cover on and then let that set. We don't need to cook this all the way, but you want to take the moisture out. So I might just leave it on a real low simmer. I just want to take the moisture out of the rice. And then we're going to put it into this mix. And this is a good time to show you. So we got the pumpkins ready. 2 pumpkins that we cleaned out all the seeds. And here is the beef mixture with the vegetables and the spices. We're going to take out the cheese. We're going to take the cheese out and put some in, and I think that's all I'm going to add to it. And then we're gonna stuff the pumpkins and put them in the oven. So just hang tight. We'll be back in a bit. Okay, we're back. Now what we're going to do is we're going to mix everything together. We have the meat here. It's been cooled down. I let it cool a little bit. Now the cheeses. Let's not forget the cheeses, okay? I mentioned the cheddar and then some mozzarella. Not a lot, though. Not a lot. You don't want to put too much in here because too much of one thing is going to ruin it all. You know what I'm saying? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the rice. It's right where I want it. It's pretty much perfect. Nice and fluffy. See what we did in there? Look at that. Boom. You don't want any moisture in the rice when you put it into this dish. There's a lot of moisture in that pumpkin. So you do not want to add more. You want to make sure your rice is like this. Fluffy and light, like just like perfect. Look at that. Nice. Okay, so you mix it in. Get the rice in there. Well, I find this kind of works nice with this. Just gently blend, fold it in, you know. Not a ton of rice in here. Like if you'll notice, the blend becomes nice. Now the colors are coming together. We have red, white, and the dark with the meat here. And it's kind of a nice, it's nice to the eye, okay? Right before we stuff it, in goes that cheese, that's the mozzarella, and in goes the cheddar blend. And then that's it. We gently fold it in. See, I don't want it too hot where it melts the cheese right now, but it is softening it down, which is nice. You do not want, like if the meat's too hot, it'll turn that to liquid and all the oils in the cheese will come out. You don't want that. You want to do it this way, right here. Okay, so, see this? It's starting to form. This is what we call perfect stuffing. All right, I'll bring it over and I'll show you what we do. Oh, and by the way, here's the boiled rice. Oh, look, there's a little piece of it right on there. Here's the boiled rice. That's funny recipe, pretty simple. And then here's the stuffed pumpkin one again. And look at it, I got a couple pumpkin seeds on there too. Isn't that funny? So, I don't know. Hopefully it's all in the shot. Okay. So, what we're going to do is take this and imagine that. Just pour it in the pumpkin. Drop it in. Go until it's full. And you watch how this works out. You think, look at all this, right? We made enough for 2. Now you can double this recipe and make enough for 4 or 8 or 10 or, you know, I find that I can only usually eat about half in one sitting, but it depends how hungry I am. But that's about what I usually do. So believe it or not, if you make 2 of these, you could probably feed 4 people, no problem. Okay, so now we're seeing we're getting to the top. All right, and then there's still some left, right? Watch this. That's the oven preheating to 350. Watch, I'll show you. Just pack it in. You want this packed. You do not want it loose. Okay, so it didn't take much, but now that's packed down. Same thing here. Pack it in. Watch this. You want it packed because now the heat is going to transfer throughout this while it's cooking and cook the inside of this pumpkin. This is hard as a rock. Hear that? Look. Really, it's not even denting the sides. So like this is nowhere near being able to even think about consuming. Like if you tried to eat that, that'd be ridiculous. But when you do this, you cook it from the inside out with all the heat building up, and you see how much I made and how it's falling in right here. Like we couldn't do it better. This is really a nice recipe. If you follow it, it'll come out just like this. Now, right there, a little tap, nothing more. I don't want it, you just kind of tap it down gently and create a seal. Okay, see what I'm doing? You want to do this. It's really important because it forces all the heat to stay in the pumpkin while it's cooking. Here's a little extra, I might as well take it. All right, that's it. That one goes on here. Check that off. And that's it. And this one goes, you spin it and it'll fall in where it fell. Yeah, there we go, on there. And then just make sure you got it right. You want to line it up exactly the way it came out. Nice. Okay, those are lined up perfect. Space them evenly on your tray. This is going to take an hour and sometimes up to an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes to cook. So keep that in mind, okay? It's going in my oven at 350 degrees. It's 3 o'clock, right around 3 o'clock, so this is perfect. I'm going to put them in, and in about an hour, we're going to check it. All right, we'll be back. Okay, so that was the stuffed pumpkin recipe. I'm going to show you what they look like in the oven. It's going to take about an hour and a half to an hour, maybe 45 minutes to really cook these two together at 350. So you can see the temperature set at 350. Put them in about a half hour ago. You're not going to show that much, but this is what they look like in there. And you're going to see the crust is going to turn a gold, well, the crust, the outside of the pumpkin is going to turn a golden color. You're going to tell it's not going to be as bright as it was before. That means it's baking. So what I suggest to you is that you look at the picture of this recipe. Okay, when you go on the YouTube site and you see this, look at the picture, and that's the color you're going to want to have these pumpkins when they come out. And from this point, you're just going to want to cook it. You'll know when it's right. The pumpkin will peel right off the inside, and you will have a wonderful, wonderful dinner. The house smells so good. I actually just went around the whole house and closed all the windows. It's getting a little cool, and I can let all this flavor, these smells just come right into the house now. And that's what's nice about October 18th in Rhode Island. It's just a wonderful time of year. Hope you enjoy the recipe, and that's cooking right with you.